So this is the latest film from music video director Aidan Zamiri, in collaboration with Charlie XCX, the pop singer. And this is a semi autobiographical mockumentary. There's a lot going on there. Aidan Zamiri has worked closely with her on a number of music videos, like the 360 music video, which was a big hit. Guess with Billie Eilish, Wildflower with Billie Eilish. So he's like kind of done a number of these music videos in the last few years that have gone viral, been big deals. And what the moment is about the moment of September 2024, after the few months right after Brat Summer, which was summer 2024. This album comes out in June and is a huge hit. And Charlie XCX, who had been kind of a B-list pop star, where she's been working in the industry for over a decade and is well known, but she's not huge. But this album completely took off, and she makes music that's for like club EDM, like party music. Like she's a little bit like Chapel Roan, like she's like gay famous, and she went from that to being way famous on summer 2024. Brat is huge. It's Brat Summer. Just completely takes the summer by storm. Everyone knows the album, the Chartreuse. And the execs in the fall are now like, how do we keep this going? How do we keep Brat Summer going forever? Brat forever, next summer, the summer after that, because they've just hit this gold mine and this huge cultural moment. They just are trying to hang on to it. And the question of this tour is coming up. The Brat tour is happening, and there's going to be a concert video taking place, and that's where things start to get a little shifty. People come out of the woodwork. They all have opinions. We have the great Alexander Skarsgard is the director of this concert. He's supposed to be filming the concert, but he starts to get a little bit too hands-on, starts to question a lot of the creative choices, and that's kind of our setup. But the whole thing is about the insane job that it is to be a pop star, the pressures that you have from the studio, from the businesses, from social media, and trying to navigate all that, being surrounded by yes men who aren't really yes men, but don't really have your best interest in mind. Crazy movie, lots to talk about. Zach, what'd you think?
So I like the moment. I'm warm on the moment. I think it gets a little melodramatic towards the end, because it's a bit more fictional than I'd imagined. I knew it was kind of a mockumentary. I knew it had been filmed in and around this kind of tour she was doing, so I didn't know how. And it looks a lot like The Office or like Succession, like very practical cameras, guys just moving around the room and like doing these like crash zooms and stuff with short lenses, and like, I don't know. I knew it was kind of something, but I didn't know what. And that's part of the appeal of the moment, right? That like you don't know what you're getting into going in. I think if you're a Charlie fan, or like you said, you've got a bunch of friends who know her, then you go with her, and then you kind of have an idea. But like, I was just going in like by myself on a Saturday and didn't really know what I was getting into. Tried to kind of avoid the trailers just because I didn't really know what it was going to be. And I had a great time. I had a great time with the moment. I think it is odd. I think it is very uniquely shaped. It is parts fictional, parts reality, but reminds me a lot of Inside, the Bo Burnham movie on Netflix. It's about a young musician who is obviously very aware of the internet and what is and isn't cool, and who is feeling insecure and needs to make some kind of project to feel like, hey, I want to step into what's next in my career. For Burnham, he had taken a long hiatus and then was now making a comedy special. She is on the opposite side. She has just had this huge successful tour and doesn't know what's next. And so you have this weird like seesaw of like fiction reality that both of them seem to play with. While he makes his thing by himself, this is made with a huge team of people and is collaborative. And in fact, that is very much part of the theme of it. Like you said, like what it is to hand over responsibility, how people will make decisions for you if you don't make them, how apathy can punish like a rising artist if they don't move quickly enough on something, like whether or not something is cringe. I don't know, man. I had a great time with the moment. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but it's a great introduction to Charlie XCX for people who don't know her. I had a great time watching it. So let's dig in.
Yeah, it's a little bit like it reminded me of The Office, the classic TV show, where it is, because it's that kind of documentary style where someone will say something stupid or that doesn't make any sense, and everyone just kind of looks at everyone else. There's a whole lot of that. Like I said, Charlie is surrounded by yes men, but also they're also very indecisive. Like there's questions about the tour and the direction and rehearsals and who's involved, and everyone kind of speaks in, no one wants to commit to anything, and so everyone kind of speaks in vagueness, and then like decisions don't get made, and then everything's wrong, and then like people are coming to Charlie, she's going to other people for information and things. I think she puts on a really great performance, and she is herself, but she also has a lot of kind of more intimate moments. She wrote on her Substack, which of course I follow, about just the insanity that the job of a pop star is. And this sounds like a woe is me issue, but it really is like you have this obviously performances, but then you're being whisked away in SUV to a shoot to the airport to a concert, and you're just like it's kind of insane when you sit and think about it compared to the average person with an average job. And it still is work, but it's just like it can make you go crazy. And that's what the kind of chaos that the movie's trying to portray. We get excellent other performances by Alexander Skarsgard as the director Johannes, who's just he's so Weasley. He's the most annoyed person I've seen on screen in a while. He's so good at this. And we also get some surprises we've seen. This isn't a spoiler. Rachel Sennot shows up for a scene. Kylie Jenner shows up for a scene. Lots of little cameos like that.
Yeah. Let's talk performances. Charlie's great in this movie. I have not seen a lot of her. I've heard a bit of her music. This is the first time I've really seen her acting. As far as I know, she is genuinely funny. She's genuinely engaging, dramatic, emotional when she needs to be, like genuinely good. And I see that she is kind of starting to book more roles and starting to get into a little bit more acting. I think that's great. I think she's going to be successful in that. She's really good in this. I love that Skarsgård, real quick, we should speak to him as well. This movie opens with a great montage of music and a kind of explosive, like flash warning sequence that's really great. That gives you a little bit of who Charlie is for people like me who are just walking in and don't know. Where she comes from, the kind of success Brad has had, and where she's at in September 2024 when the movie starts, and then crash to like Charlie at like the airport in like the Delta Lounge talking to her boyfriend. And her boyfriend's trying to get her to record this message for this credit card ad. And she's like, isn't that cringe? Shouldn't I not do that? And he's like, well, yeah, it's cringe, but like everything's cringe. It's fine. And like that sets our tone for where we're headed in this movie. Like what is and isn't cool. And Charlie is kind of the arbiter of like what is sexy and what isn't. And she's surrounded by yes men and boomers and record industry execs who've been doing this for years who don't understand her and don't understand the art of Brad, and they don't get it. And like, she doesn't even really sure if she gets it. She's like, this is just this album I made. So she's got this green slime cover and she's got this like funny font. And they bring in people like Skarsgård who want to change it. And Skarsgård is like the arbiter of cringe. Oh my God. He's the cringiest, most awkward dude on purpose. He is like lasered in on what this character needs to be. He's this clunky guy with this like chunky Midwest accent, even though he looks like he just came out of an H&M catalog, and he says his dad's British, but also he grew up in Australia. He's this like man's man of just kind of terrible, who under the surface is not that good of a dude and is trying to wrestle control of the tour and of this kind of film thing away from Celeste, her assistant, who's a very important part of this movie. Played by Haley Gates is her name. We saw her in Uncut Gems. We saw her in, I forget the other movie she was in. And yeah, like Charlie just cannot handle it. And it's all too much. And I love that Charlie is clad in like puffer vests and scarves and these big thick glasses, and her hair's down all the time because she just looks like she's trying to hide from all of it. She's like, all of this sucks. I don't want to do any of this stuff. You know what I mean? And then when she goes to a party, glasses off. When she's hanging out with Celeste and drinking and talking about the creative direction of the tour, glasses off. Hanging out with Rachel Sennot, glasses off. Like, so we get these really specific moments of like Charlie being herself versus like trying to get away, you know? And that is kind of just like the two big performances. Then you got like Tim, her assistant, who's like god awful and doesn't listen to her. And like Rosanna Arquette plays like one of these record execs who like so obviously does not understand or respect what Charlie XCX is trying to do. It just makes for this big boiler pot of tension and misdirection and misguided like creative intent.
Yeah, everyone, again, like her assistant Tim is so afraid to just commit to anything, say a decision like this is what Charlie wants. This is everyone's like, oh, are we sure about that? Did she? And it's like, well, let's circle back. Let's check. Like everyone's circling back. No one's making any decisions. And again, that creates the perfect moment for Johannes to kind of come in and try to take over this show. And I think it has a little bit of pacing problems. Felt a little slow in the middle, but I did like this big question that it's posing, which is, how do you move on from a great success? How do you do that? And how do you not just try and hang on to the moment forever? And
Yeah.
Charlie answers that in a very interesting way with the timing of this movie, because Wuthering Heights comes out this week, of which Charlie XCX did the soundtrack. And so, like, how does she move on from Brad? She's doing a film soundtrack. She also I just saw a trailer earlier for a new movie she's in called Eruptia, which is like a romantic drama set in Poland. Eruptia meaning eruption, because there's a volcano eruption nearby. So that's the big question, because everyone else in the world would try to just hang on to this huge thing, this like once in a lifetime iconic moment. And it's, again, the question of the movie is, how do you move on from that?
I love that the movie is past tense. I love that the movie opens with September 2024, because it's called The Moment. And as we all know, a moment is a fleeting thing, right? It's fast and it's brief. And by walking into this movie in 2026 and seeing 2024, the moment has passed. We're told right up front, this already happened. This is behind us. So Charlie is fighting this battle in this movie to figure out whether or not I kill this thing that I love and let Brat go and end the tour, or if I sign for another 6 months with Amazon Music and make this film tour movie, right? And every record exec who wants a piece of the pie is like, keep it going, Brat forever, right? Get a Brat credit card and put Brat on the back of your phone. And like, meanwhile, everybody like meaningful to Charlie is like, what's next? You know, like, we can tell you're frustrated. We can tell you're stuck. We can tell you're feeling trapped a little bit. Like, obviously, very much at her core, like, I don't know. I think this movie really takes a swing at trying to look at how complicated the industry is and how overwhelming it can be. And it's such a satisfying release when we hit credits to know that everybody who worked on this movie are her close collaborators. Like, this is the guy who's been doing her music videos. Like, that's who directed this. That's who put this together. The camera guys are guys who work on her tour. Like, these are already people she is tight and good with. She did not deal with people like outsiders, like this character, like Skarsgard's character, Johannes, coming in and telling her what to do. Brat did not become this horrible thing that Amazon Music said it had to be. It was always its own thing. And that makes it so special and so sincere. You're not making art for other people. You're making it because it's what you want to make. And if other people like it, then they'll go for it. It's profound. It is, like I said, a little melodramatic, though. Definitely, there's a stint right in around Act 2, Act 3, where you're like, okay, I can kind of see the lines of where this is going, and I'm ready for this to start wrapping up. It's much more mainstream. It's much more just kind of fictional film than I'd expected. I really thought it was going to be more rooted in reality, and it kind of is. But like, at some point, you realize like, we're all doing performances here. Yeah, like, these are not quite as real as they're maybe presented to be. But then you get some funny fourth wall breaks too. There's some funny looks at the cameras. Hey, what's with the documentary crew in here? Oh, they're just filming a thing for me. Yeah, like, reminds me of The Office. Reminds me a lot of Succession on HBO, and in the way with the roaming cameras and the following very wealthy people in like vans around, right? Like, she's getting carted around the world.
Yeah, it's the setup is based in reality, and then kind of moving forward is where it turns into mockumentary, takes a more fictional turn. And again, it's looking at the stress, the pressures, who are your friends, who aren't, who's on your side, who can you trust, and then just the whole personal image. How do I look? How my, like one time she's, my skin's like terrible today. There's all these things that these kinds of people are, the kind of pressures they face. So yeah, interesting stuff.
I had a lot of fun with Brad. It's not perfect, for sure. It's not for everybody. And notably, not enough music. Like, if there's one thing I wish I could have changed, I wish there was about 5 more Charli XCX tracks in here. Like, I think she does most of the music for the movie, but it's much more like film composing stuff. It's different. It's new. It's not stuff that you would expect. Not just the same hits, but also, man, there's an opening montage in this that's just so fire. And I'm like, oh, dude, I could have done a whole concert movie that looked like this. And that's not what Brad is. It's not what The Moment is. It's something different. I think that's good. Any other thoughts or recommendations?
I'm ready.
Andy, would you recommend The Moment?
I'd recommend it to fans of Charli XCX or fans of pop music. And if that's something you're interested in and know a lot about, I think you're going to have a good time. if you're an outsider, I think it might be a little bit strange. It is still, like I said, it's insightful and it is profound on kind of the themes that it's exploring. But I think it's definitely for the fans.
Yeah, I would recommend The Moment, actually. I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's weird. I think it's an indie title. It reminds me a lot of like Bo Burnham's Inside on Netflix. Reminds me a lot of like HBO's Succession. It is a story about a young artist who is like struggling to figure out what's next. Charlie's a breakout. I think she has a lot of potential in movies. She should keep doing more movie stuff and music as well, obviously. And yeah, that's The Moment. Man, we got to talk about trailers. We got to talk about some new trailers we saw this weekend, thanks to one particular big sporting event. What do we call this segment, Andy?
It's time for the trailer park. Of course, the big game is a time for lots of commercials, and also usually when we get some new trailers for things coming out. And we didn't really get anything. We did get a couple of new